ecological devastation is defined as any change or disturbance to the environment perceived to be deleterious or undesirable.
That mask
We didn't want the bus too packed, so this is a great group. I'm happy that everybody got on here. This is the Ecological Devastation tour by Commissary. It's very necessary. This tour is more personal than it was in 2019. There are a lot of organizations and companies and different things. We really on this tour, we wanted people from our community, some kids, people from different neighborhoods, so we can educate them on environmental justice and what's going on with the environment. Right, and so we have a sprinter van following us. Somebody gets sick, have an emergency, have to go home or something, the sprinter van can take you. Okay, so we want to have Miss Olika Green come up. She is our director of environmentalism for Commissary. It's very necessary, and we really appreciate her and everything she does. She put together the first tour that me and Olika won a lot of awards for. We're not trying to win no awards now, we're just trying to educate our people. And so this is what this tour is about, Ecological Devastation Tour. Like I say, I appreciate y'all. Olika is gonna come up here and she's gonna start talking. She's passing out some literature. She also has some worksheets, some environmental worksheets for the kids that they could be working on while they're on the bus and some things she's passing out. We appreciate y'all.
With 771 million people on Earth, besides us, do not have clean water. 771 million people across the Earth do not have clean water. So that means if you have clean water, you're what? Lucky. Now, back to that one. What's the ratio of people who do not have access to a toilet? 1 in 4 people on this planet do not have, in Africa, do not have access to a clean toilet. But when you go to different countries, they tell you do not drink the water, do not bathe in the water, because the water is untreated. So understand how important water is.
So for how many years?
60. Okay, look over here. Where you talking about, Olika?
You see what that is right there? It look like a great big cigarette. Y'all see the tower? That's the Dixie smelter plant.
So it's the one that looks like a long cigarette that she said they can never tear right there.
They can't never tear down.
Poisoning. And then you see they have a school right here, Thomas Jefferson High School.
Thomas Jefferson.
Junior high school.
Yep.
In West Dallas, from the 1930s to 1984, a company called RSR Corporation operated a notorious lead car battery smelter in West Dallas, a section of the city that became one of the few areas where black people could live in the segregated post-World War II era. The EPA Superfund site covers 13.6 square miles. We talked to one of the residents last time they were on the bus, and they told us what was going on. The Dallas Morning News wrote a report recently. The old site is being redeveloped to a 7-Eleven. And that was in 2019 when we did the tour. We found out that the old site was being dug up. And when they dug under here, they found more batteries and more lead poisoning under here that they had buried. And so that was a problem. And so right now you see it looks pretty, but this was the area that poisoned the whole West Dallas, basically gentrified this neighborhood with the people with, lead poisoning. Makes you upset, it makes you angry, it makes you very dysfunctional. So they did that for 60 years, gentrified the community, ran crime, cracked through it. And so when you go to West Dallas now, you see all that gentrification, that's based on what they did to the people in this community by making them sick. And we see what corporations do. They just put another business right over it. And so right here where the 7-Eleven is and where that field is where this battery plant was that poisoned the whole West Dallas. And so we wanted to make sure we come through here because this is one of the most important stories in Dallas history.
You got Thomas Edison Elementary School. Thomas Edison Elementary School has the highest and largest special education department in the state of Texas. And you know why? Because they live in the projects. They were affected by the lead. And lead causes neurological disorders.
Right next to it.
So that means if you're a little person and you're going to school over here and you get hit by that lead, you have learning disorders, and that school is right there. So the school will be engulfed in that lead smoke every day.
Yeah.
And a lot of people who live in this area did not even live to be 50 years old because of cancer and cancer-related lead disease.
I tell you, gentlemen, science has agreed that unless something is done and done quickly, man is the dominant species of life on Earth.
This lead poisoning really affects the community, affects the future. You know, people be having a 160-year plan, so we have to do things like this. What we're doing, this is a classroom, so we are showing you that education can be in anything. You know, this is the future. Education is going to be on airplanes, on buses. It's not just going to be in the classroom inside the building. So right now, this is the classroom, and we're educating y'all on environmental justice in Dallas, Texas. And I appreciate y'all.
Ain't got a drug, get a touch it, but the beats cave your head in, drums are busted. I done captured like 10 world leaders, and I'm hot like 10 heaters. Also kidnapped 20 divas. The spaceship got 20 speakers, and I got 80,000 scientists trapped down off in my hole. Microsoft and Trump's business is all mine under control. This world been under attack, it's a war for your soul. You were told I was cold, but this player can't fold. I'm too hot to hold. Invaded your territory to get my glory tenfold. Whoa, hear my global domination. Don't you hear my global domination? Don't you fear hear my global domination?
Okay, y'all, where we're going right now is Lane Plating Superfund site, and this is a very personal piece of property for me, and I want everybody that grew up in Highland Hills to hear.
If you grew up in Highland Hills or BFL, you need to be listening.
You need to listen to this right here.
So this is Lane Plating Works, 5322 Bonnie View Road. You couldn't step out one time. Y'all can get out. I know y'all. Hey, what's up? Hey. So we are at Lane Plating Works, 5322 Bonnie View Road, Dallas, Texas. Metro Plating Company built in the 1950s next to 5 Mile Creek, filed for bankruptcy, and is being designated as a Superfund site by the EPA because of toxic chemical contamination.
Come back. Where you at today? It's Lane Plating Works, 5322 Bonnie View Road, 75241. I'm waiting for everybody to get out so they can get in the learning lab. Come out the grass. Y'all come out the grass. Y'all have to stand on the sidewalk. And I'll tell you why I don't get on the grass.
It's lead.
Yes, lead. Not only lead, but arsenic, cadmium, and mercury. So this is this was the electroplating plant built in this one was built in 1950, but the original was built in 1927, and it was out the route. So this right here is where, like in the cafeteria where you have the pots and pans and they got in, they would send it here and they would dip it in mercury, silver, cadmium, and arsenic. And so what they did, they removed it. But when we got started here, and I'm gonna bring everybody up here, y'all can see it. Come here. Y'all see this well is got this on it. Here's the reason is this is up here. When we went to Washington, D.C., and we met with the EPA, we told them that they need to put barbed wire up and they needed to put signs up.
And so, was going in there.
Yeah, so when they did the grid, they found out that the poison comes all the way up here. And you see a bus stop down there, right? So the men that worked here, they didn't even have OSHA training. So they would come in here and work with these highly toxic chemicals. And they were mixing them up in pickle jars, Kool-Aid jars and they would go home. And so a lot of the men lived over here. And so when we talked to the families that lived over there, their fathers died of stomach cancer, liver cancer, skin cancer, all of this. And there was a high rate of miscarriage on this other side of the trees. So we did a survey of the community and we found out that there was a lot of cancer going on over in this alley. And a lot of these people, they family members. And so this place has been here since 1950. At one point in time, this wasn't even here. This was just dirt. Just a dirt road. So what you're looking at right now is genocide.
Joppy is considered a historic area, one of about 30 freedmen towns established around Dallas. Current population is about 500. Air pollution from the adjoining rail yard, asphalt, batch plant, and shingle factory appears to be higher than in other parts of Dallas, but yet there's no measures of how it has been published. So the air quality is very bad in Joppy right now because of the concrete batch. They got a shingle batch we're gonna drive by, asphalt. But we have people in the community of Joppy that are trying to do great work, like Miss Kim right here, building her garden. And so you want to talk about Joppy a little bit?
I'll talk briefly about Joppy. I grew up in the community of Joppy. My grandmother was one of the first settlers who settled here after slavery. Her house, the first house she had, was on the other side of this railroad track, but the railroad was already here when she came here. So the Southern Pacific bought her out and bought her onto a property over here on Carbondale, right in front of the railroad track. My grandmother, that was my great-grandmother. My grandmother lived right next door to her in some property. The property for both my grandmother and a great-grandmother is the property where I'm doing the community garden at. And so this year is Joppy's 150th anniversary. I started this garden over here in Joppy because all of my siblings and my parents, my grandparents, everybody had diabetes. High blood pressure and all kinds of different illnesses, and I also got diagnosed with diabetes some years ago, about 10 years ago, and
Go straight. Yeah, go straight.
And I didn't want to end up on dialysis or doing different things, so I started learning how to eat what I grew. And so from that, I was taking insulin at first when I first started out. I'm no longer insulin dependent from eating what I grow. And so I thought that if I could do that, I could bring that to my community and have them. In this area, there's no store here. This is a food desert, as everywhere around here is. So I've tried to bring access to fruit and vegetables to my community. So,
all right.
And so the reason why, okay, Joppy has had so many names. It has been J-O-P-P-E-E. Yeah, it has been, now it's J-O-P-P-A. I know it as J-O-P-P-Y because we call my grandmother Joppy Mama. That's why it's called Joppy Mama's Farm. Yeah. I have bell peppers, tomatoes, shishitos, squash, zucchini. I got purple peas coming up. And I got fruit trees. Those collard greens, yeah. I have fruit trees from the Give and Grow Foundation, donated from fruit trees all around. I got chickens. I got bees.
Oh, you got bees? We got bees.
Yeah. I'm coming along, but this is my rendering. This is how I would look at the fountain rendering right there.
Shingle Mountain is at 9527 South Central Expressway. In 2019, we went to Shingle Mountain and it was still there. They just removed it in what, last year or this year? Last year. And so the reason we want to come by here is because we want to show that what we doing actually works. So we came in 2019, put heat on them, other people put heat on them, and now it's gone. So we want to show y'all a victory that doing these bus tours and doing stuff like that changes the community. In September 2017, the area was covered by 40 foot-piles of used shingles weighing 100,000 pounds, and done by November 2017 by Blue Star Recycling. 3 years after our first Ecological Devastation tour, the site was removed. In 2022, Almira Industrial was permitted to return to one of the lots that held Shingle Mountain. And so right now the city has given permission to one of the companies to start doing back industrial work at Shingle Mountain. And so I think they're trying to build a cement batch plant over here. So they're just trying to destroy it again. There's another organization trying to put a park here. Do you know what organization that is, Alenka?
Floral Farm.
So Floral Farms wants to put a park here, but the company wants to put more industry here. So we want to come back. So this is Shingle Mountain right here, where this property is. I mean, you can't see it now. The mountain was as high as them trees. You can't even see those trees right there.
Right. It looked like it.
Yeah, right.
It looked like it didn't belong there.
Right. But you see, you know, when the community gets together, put pressure on companies, then this type of things happen. It's removed, and it's a victory. And so, and we still want to fight. If another company wants to put another asphalt, we don't want that there. All right. So we're stopping at Mount Zion Church right here in Sand Branch. Pastor K.
Yes.
Pastor K was the pastor of Mount Zion. He was the original person that became an activist for Sand Branch. This was his church. He was doing food drives, water drives. I'm talking about anything that an activist does for the community. He did right here at this church. When I won my Environmental Justice Award, I dedicated it to the pastor because his house burnt down. Him and his wife died, and his daughters died in their house. And so we don't really know what happened. We know it was money involved. We know they was, you know, a lot of people want this area and they want to develop it. So I always dedicate it to Pastor K because he started this movement and he wasn't able to get the recognition that he deserved from the passing of his death. And so we dedicate, this is the incorporated area on the documentary. This is where we go down here to, we ain't going down here, but this is where the sister was with the hog farm, and people out here have to use wells. A lot of people go into this unincorporated area right here and they go get their water from the wells. A few people have wells that they have built. Some, and I'm talking about wells with pumps, but some people have regular wells too, where it's just they getting water out the bottom of the well. And so that's what they're dealing with in this area. Dallas County hasn't stepped to the plate to help these people. The city of Dallas hasn't stepped to the plate to help these people. Congress, the Senate hasn't stepped to the plate to help these people. So we did a documentary, like I say, recently. That's what Judah was sending y'all to. This is the brother we talked to last time. I don't know if he's here, but I'm going to see if he's here. We just gonna holler at you again. We see you updated this, so tell us what you did.
Yeah,
I know you busy, you ain't got a lot of time. We're gonna make it fast.
Yeah. And it's really been taking effect. So
he basically saying he bought new parts and now it's not getting enough pressure, so he got to put the old one back on. Have people been coming out here delivering water?
yeah, they gave me a solar panel that produces water.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I got it out back of my yard. It's not presentable to be all filmed out.
Right, that's right.
No.
So they got a solar panel that produces water.
Right.
Is it producing water now?
Yeah.
How does it do it?
Son,
Well, how does it produce water?
the moisture.
Okay.
Moisture out there.
Okay. Oh, look into that.
You don't need that. You don't need that on your camera. Should be something. I got it unplugged at the house.
The stuff they gotta do out here just to get some water.
You see how clear it is?
Yeah,
It used to pull up sand when I had that other one on there.
right,
And that doesn't pull up because you're pulling up clear,
right.
but it's
Not putting enough
still
pressure.
no pressure, not enough
Okay.
pressure. I don't think the pressure built up over there yet. No, it hasn't. So that's the problem now.
Hey, brother, I know you trying to pay some bills and make your money. We didn't want to hold you too long. We got one more stop, but we want to make sure we came and talked to you, bro.
Well, I'm glad y'all did stop by.
All right.
Good to see y'all. Y'all stay
All
blessed.
right. So this is the Cedar Crest Bridge, the Martin Luther King Bridge. If you can see, they added all this stuff. Those represent elephant tusks from Africa. What this does, it connects South Dallas. This is a representation of the connection of the black communities in Oak Cliff and South Dallas. And so this whole bridge, this is a park. This park extends all the way to the other end. When you get over here, there's gonna be more elephant African tusks. We're gonna pull in here and we're gonna show you what this park is about. It's also right next door to the meat, the plant I was telling you that stinks up the whole Oak Cliff and South Dallas. But this is the MLK Bridge. Like I say, those are elephant tusks. They represent elephants from Africa, and it represents the connection of the black communities in Oak Cliff and South Dallas coming together. So, you know, like bridging the gap. You know, it's a representation, this whole bridge in the park. And if you go, when you get to this light, if we go to the right, that's where the slaughtering company was that was pouring pig's blood into the Trinity River for 100 years. They just got shut down recently. So this ain't nothing new. They got shut down maybe a year or two ago or something.
Yeah.
You see the elephant tusk right here? And see, this is the park they built. And right there, it has the sands and stuff right here, so we're gonna make this left.
So they end up shutting down Cadillac Heights. Not Cadillac Heights, but the packing house. But the biggest problem that we face and have, most people don't realize, is right in our backyard, is this place right here. It used to be called Texas Byproducts.
It used to be Texas Byproducts.
Today it's called, I think, VP Petroleum. And,
okay.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry, VP Protein.
Protein.
And if you guys don't know what that is, they bring all the kill from the slaughterhouse. So if you're not buying organic makeup and lipstick, that's what you buy. All right? So, and it has a very foul odor. So when you come to this neighborhood, a lot of people don't want to do business over here, come over here and develop, because they say it has a bad odor over here when you come to this side of town.
Let's talk about growth, pain. So after all the things I've learned today, seeing all the things I've seen, talking to the people I've talked to, learning the things I've learned, I can no longer deny that ecological devastation impacts me, and not only me, but all of us.
The heart of the grove.
To be free is to be me.
Nobody owns us.
I want to acknowledge all the people who were here and helped build this land, who would never be recognized and have never had names.
Preguntando, caminamos.
Don't be afraid to share your heart and your word.
Where one of us falls, everyone picks us back up.
I want to acknowledge all of the unknown descendants of the African American people who don't know any part of their history, origin, or existence in this land.
And we are all one another's relations.
Don't be afraid to share your heart and your word.
We are here because we were loved.
Share your heart and your word. Share your heart and your word.
You have to divest to invest.
This is your emotional power. No matter how small the contribution, it is gift, and others are waiting to experience your offering with no preferences.
All behavior is an expression of a need.
Es tan importante saber que yo te amo.
What does it mean to be free? Remember to keep the spirit that they tried to beat out of you.
Share your heart and your word.
How can we build in the shape of our wound? To be me is to be free.
Let's talk about growth, pain, planting seeds, sprouting in the rain. All here at the grove, all here at the grove, all here at the grove. Let's talk about growth, pain, planting seeds, sprouting in the rain. All here at the grove, all here at the grove, all here at the grove.
Un mantra para seguir adelante. Imagínense que soy su antepasado. Mi hija hermosa, creo en ti. Eres fuerte, capaz, cabrona.
There is an energy that will change everything if we are still enough to tap into it.
Share your heart and your word.
I am a willow. I'll weep for you.
I am a lily of the field. Estoy aquí para darte todo y levantarte.
Share your heart and your word.
I am an unpoliced tree. Left to our own magic, we could heal ourselves collectively.
Tú puedes hacer todo lo que sueñas.
When there is shared vision, what they call supernatural is in reality first nature. I am story, song, movement. Together, we are infinite magic, powerful medicina.
Into the garden, I find my center. Great Spirit said,
Show your heart in your work.
it's